Callis makes you laugh because you drop something inappropriate on the floor between takes or something. There was always something to look forward to. And being tired at the end of the day because you did something worthwhile. So there you go.
I don't think people know how rare it is. You know, you audition for a million things and, you know, sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't, but it's rare for all these shows. There's multiple shows that are produced, put together, series, and actors are hopeful, you know, that it's going to get picked up. And most of them are not. Most shows are not picked up, so you rarely have the opportunity to stay in one place long enough to really bond and become a family. So when you do, it's the best feeling in the whole world, and I think that's why. And especially with a new show where you're going through the gauntlet course of trying to, you know, please all the executives and getting all the notes and, you know, trying to get through that gauntlet so you can get picked up for the next year and maybe even be able to pay the mortgage on your house that, you know, you bought in that first year. But when you do get that, it is rare. So when you get it, it's memorable. It really is. And you can't wait to have that feeling again, you know? And Battlestar, again, as Eddie said, it was just one of those rare shows where really everybody bonded, had a common vision, and I think the quality of the show, the story, what it was about, it touched people, and it brought a quality of human being. You know, I think it was, who played Gandhi? Ben Kingsley. Talked about the quality of the man, woman begets the quality of the actor. And this show begot some really incredibly quality human beings that want to be part of it. Yeah.
Just a brand new Battlestar Galactica fan in the last year I watched the series, so thank you for being here. And I wanted to know, because it flipped me out, whenever you got the reveal of the final five, or the final four actually, and the fifth one didn't go to the fourth season, what your reaction was, and how, I don't know if you guys did script reading, or what you thought whenever they finally told us who the four in the crew were who were the sidelines.
I'll start. Of course, you know, I have the most memorable remembrance of watching my XO slam the script onto the floor and say, after reading,
I missed that reading when I heard about it.
oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, he really didn't want to go there. He said, "You guys are nuts. Come on, look at me."
Again, that's how invested we were in our characters.
Yeah.
Michael Hogan is a true professional. He's a veteran Canadian thespian. He came from the theater, you know, he's doing his whole life. Michael's one of those actors, Michael never changed a line on the show. If it was written a certain way, he'd always say, it's like, it's not my job to, I'm not the writer. I do what's on the page. There were some actors who would take liberties like that all the time. I wouldn't say that. You know, Michael wasn't that guy. So that gives you a sense of the type of actor he is, but he was pissed. He was upset.
And for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you saw it in his performance. The next day, we went in front of camera, and he hadn't started, but the moment he found out that he was, because he had seen stuff coming along, and basically when he started to hear, you know, the sound, the song, and he started hearing, you know, he just didn't like it, and he really went crazy. And it worked because he became the strongest. He was the mother and the father. They were the mother and father's Helen. How many people here, I should ask, how many people in here have not finished the show yet? You please escort these people out. God, I would never. God. All I can tell you, people have asked me many times, you know, about the feeling that I got when I had the scene with Michael, the XO, when he tells me that he is what he is. It was so ugly. It was so honest to understanding, because this is my best friend. I mean, this is a guy who I actually, you watch my back. And in essence, it became what saved us, because we ended up reconciling with the Cylons because they were us, and we could relate to them as us. And that really was one of the reasons why they took us to the UN. That was the main issue that they really brought it out in the forefront, was reconciliation. I mean, between a force, technology, a force that had annihilated human species to the point of where there was only 49,000 of us left. And then they turned around and we had to reconcile, because by the end of the show we were down to 36,000. And so it was really a very devastating moment in my life, in my professional life as an actor, when I was told that one, and when Starbuck told me that she was responsible for the death of my son. He shouldn't have been up there, and she let him go. And it was, those two moments were brutal. And of course, I guess maybe when Boomer shot me, that was pretty bad. I died. I didn't know whether I was going to come back. That was an issue. No one knew.
We were wondering.
So anyway, that's what I thought about when that happened.
Yeah, it's shocking to all of us, because we were all speculating forever, trying to figure out who it was. Douglas, when he found out, you guys probably all, most of you have heard this story, right? He was at Michael Reimer's house, who's one of our key directors, one of the producers, the brilliant Michael Reimer. I don't know what Reimer was doing, but Douglas had enough time to look through a script that he was not supposed to look through. Found out, Douglas found out, and had to sit there and have dinner with Reimers, pretending that he didn't know. And walk around set for weeks knowing who all the Cylons were, and having to keep it to himself. And Douglas is a grumpy dude on set. We've met Douglas here, he's great at conventions. I love Aaron, he's a very talented actor, what have you, but that's on set. It's Douglas.
Earphones.
He's in his own world. He's just walking around. He looks like he's brooding. He looks like he's really pissed about something. But you could notice a shift. He was actually more pissed about something.
Yeah, I think we said that.
Yeah.
Is he madder than usual? So we just make fun of him usually. I'm not going to say anything about it. I didn't see my name there.
I'll tell you who loved it. Who really loved it was Ellen.
Yeah.
She went nuts
Yeah.
when she found out that she was coming back.
She's so
She
excited.
went, she cried and cried. She cried when she left, and she cried even more when she came back.
You really fought for her to come back. So
Oh, yeah.
Eddie had a lot to do with that. And she's so good.
She's such a great
Man, she's amazing.
Her death scene between her, the scene that they did together, she passes
Brilliant work.
XO and her, just always grabs my heart. It always does. Brilliant pieces.
Spoiler alert.
We should go into try and get a couple more questions.
Oh yeah, you guys are lining up.
Well, you already touched on part of my question, which was going to be about the final five. But I want to know from each of you how worried or excited you were going to that it's going to be one of your characters.
We worried all the time. One of the first things you did every time you got a script was Battlestar.
Especially
People get
season
off to
4.
the show. Yeah.
You're like, oh, this is it.
Well, I was stressing from the jump.
Slaughterhouse.
I had no business being there. I wasn't supposed to be there. I got 2 feet on Jamie Bamber. You think I was doing him any favors? He's one of the leads, man. I was convinced that Jamie was trying to have me off. They're gonna get rid of my ass. Too tall, I got too big of a head. I'm not too big of a head. I always get the script and I'd be like, ooh, turn those pages. Yes.
When I went down to the planet with Kara, at first I was really excited. I was like, ooh, I get to leave the CIC. And then I was like, oh.
Ooh.
Hold on.
I got to tell you that when Ellen Ty went off the show, And we would talk, and she kept saying, more are coming. I go, what do you mean? They're gonna kill a lot of characters, you know? And that's when I started getting a little nervous. Because I thought, you know, who would they most like to kill?
The Admiral, of course. So, this is the guy who, Ron was the guy who killed Kurt. Admiral's next.
Anyway, I think at the end, I was really fortunate. I really felt fortunate that I got to hang in there until the final, you know, final season. So, I mean, honestly, it was easier for me because I was surprised I got to do more than one show. You know, and the fact that they kept bringing me back was really a surprise to me, so I felt really fortunate.
You got to remember, I mean, they were writing as they went along. They didn't have anything planned in that respect, so everybody kind of like, when Hilo was left down, Baltar got on the Raptor, and Boomer takes off, and Hilo's there guarding the troops to she get off. That was it for Hilo. We weren't going to go see him anymore. He was, bye! And his hero shot, I said this the other day, you weren't here, but I said it the other day, that hero shot of him at the very end, the network goes, we want more here, please. Really good. Actually, you're starting to write.
I'm so happy you did. And he actually came up to me. You gotta understand, I've said this many times, but I've been a huge fan of Evergreen also since I saw Blade Runner, and I was like, whoa. So when he was on set, it's the coolest thing in the world. And he came out the day that Grace and I were shooting those scenes, you know, and he was there, and he was hanging out, and you know, I was just so excited that he was there. And he came over to me at one point, and he said, he goes, "Hey man, the producers are they're loving what you're doing. You know, you're gonna come back." And that in itself is a huge compliment to me. I in no way put any weight on it. I didn't trust it, because even in the time that I've been in the business, you know, unless the contract's signed and I'm working, I'm not celebrating. It was a very flattering thing to hear, but it still took. But Kent and I, we went to the pilot season. We're trying to get some work. We lived together 10 years ago.
Want to get a place together? We get a job.
Yeah. And I had like 3 auditions in a row. My first pilot season in LA, and they were atrocious. I would shit in bed. Excuse my language. There were just too many. My manager was pushing me too fast, and I had too many. I had like 2 in a day. I just wasn't prepared for it. I did a bunch of bad auditions in a row, and I was at that point where I was like, what am I doing? I don't think I can do this. Actually, I'm not sure if I should be happy. I can't do this. Like I had a horrible 5 days. Candace and I were living together, and I was literally thinking like, well, what can I do? Like, what can I do?
I did. I found him on the couch one day.
How it's easy.
You all right?
Yeah, eating a turkey burger. Anyway, different story. But I got a call like the next day from Ron Morris saying, "Listen, I've got this idea for this, storyline. You'll be running around the planet trying to survive, and the silence are hunting you down." And I was like, I just couldn't believe it. It was one of the greatest calls I've ever had. I didn't even care. I was like, "You want to do it?" I'm like, I'm so excited. Yeah, turned into a lazy thing.
I got the call.
We both, Candace, man.
Actually, but I booked it actually. Did you? I bombed this audition. I was like, I just stuck up that room because I did it, and all the executives were there. It was like silence. I was like, and I went home and I sat on the couch for 3 days and watched reality TV. And my roommate was like, "Get out!" So she picked me up and she took me. We went to downtown Los Angeles to the Santee Alley, and I'm walking through Santee Alley and I get this call. It's loud. And there's birds squawking and people and stuff. I'm like, "What?" It's like, "You booked the 4400, but you can't do it because you're going